History Wednesday on OnlyFray's podcast. Welcome back. I hope y'all like that new intro. I'm trying to make this more comedic now because evidently just sitting here and just talking, normal, whatever. But Wild History Wednesday, I'm getting back into the groove of things. Been a little busy and stressful this week. But on this episode of Wild History Wednesday, here recently, some people celebrate it, some people don't. Valentine's Day. And I've done a lot of research and reading upon the different historic values of Valentine's Day on how it came about in our culture. So I'm going to break down three different historical theories that how it actually formed into the holiday that we celebrate today. But I'm just gonna kind of wrote down some notes that I'm gonna kind of read off. But it was Valentine's Day, the pagan origins of Valentine's Day. Yes, I said that right. Pagan. If you don't know what pagan is or paganism, I could probably do Wild History Wednesday next week on the religion paganism. It's very interesting. A lot of religions derived from that, in a sense, like different beliefs, different like pagan gods, pagan rituals, stuff like that. But February was like throughout history has been known as the month of love. It's always been known that because it's when the earth is at its like most fertile for plant life, flowers, trees, and they're getting ready to come out of the ground, sprout up, and everything. And the farmers, they getting ready for their chicken, their farm animals, and everything like that, and about to, they're about to beat each other's cheeks and get ready to have little chicklings and calves, and I can't think of another word for baby animals. And also, excuse me. Some animals will come out of hibernation to look for a mate. Crikey. But it says here, February 14th is Juno Februata Day. I hope I said that right. Februata? Anyway, in Rome, of course. Don't do as the Romans did. Ancient Romans celebrated a holiday on February 14th to honor the goddess Juno, who is the queen of the Roman gods. Okay. She is also the goddess of childbirth and marriage. In this ritual, women would put their names in a box, and the men would draw out a name, and the two would be coupled for the remainder of the festival. So pretty much draw a name out of the box, and it's pretty much it's almost like a blind date almost, essentially, like a blind date. Like women put their name in a box, and a guy draws it, and they go on a date. And it's just, you just spend the time with each other, getting to know each other. And the festival was to promote marriage and fertility, and come to the end of the festival, or hopefully if the blind date hit off pretty good, then those couple would be married. And that's nothing too crazy or anything like that. I don't think. Essentially like your friends putting you up on a blind date or whatever you want to call it, and saying good luck. Maybe he might be the right guy. But hopefully that blind date would go on to many dates, and I hope they didn't really just like at the end of the festival just start getting married. Like that would be really weird. But it's called organized marriage, which is kind of something that a lot of like history derived on, like marriages wise, like all over Europe and shit like that. So okay, and then another thing that the Romans celebrated was Lupercalia from February 13th to 15th. Now this one blew my mind. I didn't know about this part of Valentine's Day history, but yeah, it was quite interesting. But the Romans celebrated Lupercalia, a 3-day holiday that celebrated the famous celebrated the Faunus, the god. They celebrated Faunus, the god of fertility. Okay. I haven't looked very much up into Faunus. Sorry. Men would go to a cave, and then from what I've also read and understood, that the men that went to the cave were like two sides of like Romulus and Remus, which is Palatine Hill was where the birthplace of Romulus and Remus, the founders of Rome, were found by a farmer. But anyway, um what was I going with that? Oh yeah, Romulus and Remus, legend has it that they were being taken care of or suckled, which is mean being fed from the breast from a she wolf. Now that's interesting, but excuse me, but the men on both sides, you had the Romulus priest, or that's what I read, was the priest or like men who followed Remus, and then you had other 12 men. I can't remember. I think it was 12 men who followed Romulus, or priests. I can't remember. And they would go and meet at Palatine Hill, and they would have a feast. They would drink, and then they would sacrifice a goat. And other historians say it was a goat and a dog, which the dog kind of resembles a wolf. But they didn't. I mean, I don't know for sure. I wasn't there, or history's about as fucked up as people are nowadays, anyway. But they would sacrifice the goat, and they would eat the meat that they sacrificed, and they would take the skin and make it into leather, and they would turn it into a whip. So these men would feast, drink, and sacrifice a goat, take the skin and turn it to a whip, and they would run up and down the streets of Rome butt ass naked while whipping people. Men, women, doesn't matter. As long as they were, I guess, for age, I don't know. That's kind of weird, but it was it was said to be a blessing to be whipped, because it was a blessing from being whipped. It was a blessing of fertility, which is pretty much being able to provide childbirth and everything. So if you got whipped, you were blessed being fertile, I guess. I don't know. I don't get the concept. That thing is weird. And I made the joke about it at work, saying, "Yeah, I celebrate Lupercalia. I'm about to strip down to my my birth clothes and run up and down Statesboro, whipping people." But I think that would work out too well on my end. But And then it pretty much there would be big parties and a 3-day feast and festival to celebrate Lupercalia. Lupercalia, there's another. They just dug down a bunch of fucking rabbit holes with that. Lupercalia was a pagan god, and the Lupercalia was also derived from Egyptian god. Blah blah blah. Yeah. And then Cupid. Oh, another cool fact: Cupid was actually the son the of a god of two gods. Shit. Venus and I can't remember the other one, but Cupid could shoot. Cupid was also a pagan god in a sense, if I remember correctly and read correctly, that's what that all derived from too. But he could shoot lead and gold arrows, and there was a story behind that, and I can't remember. He shot um he shot a person with a gold arrow to fall in love with this woman, and he shot the woman with the lead arrow, and he could actually shoot arrows at gods or humans. So it was like he's kind of undestructible. But he shot the woman with the lead one to like for disgust and everything like that. So he got shot with the gold, and he would literally chase her. Not probably literally, but like had the emotions of like love and lust at the same time to want her to fall in love, and she didn't want nothing with him because she got shot with the lead arrow of disgust. So they just it's kind of interesting to like kind of read up and learn a little bit of new stuff every so often. But there's not really proof of how Valentine's Day actually became Valentine's Day. It's just like different parts of different regions in history combined together to make Valentine's Day. And the last one that I thought was kind of, a good key point for Valentine's Day. Oh, gosh, excuse me. Oh. Well, Fraley, you're kind of boring these people, and that's probably why you're snoring. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay, I'm sorry. I like to do voice impressions. Really good Squidward and SpongeBob, Cartman, and some others. But February 14th, Valentine's Day. Christians, or should I say, the church, does not celebrate St. Valentine's Day, or even acknowledge it on their calendar because they don't believe that St. Valentine, which was an actual person, was an actual saint. But they call it they co- and they call the holiday a pagan festival. So the Christians said, "We have nothing to do with that pagan festival. That's not our beliefs." But everybody should know the story of Saint Valentine, which there's like different stories, but the one I found more accurate is Saint Valentine was marrying young couples secretly behind which king or whatever. I can't remember the king. I can't remember. He was a dickhead, but he was performing secret marriages so young men and didn't have to like go off to war because the king thought that if you were unmarried, if you're an unmarried man, you would think better, have like clear thought of not missing your woman, not missing home. You can just be ready for battle and ready for war. And when the king found out that Saint Valentine was doing these marriages secretly, he sent out for St. Valentine, locked him up in jail, in prison, or whichever term you want, jail, prison. There's two different. Anyway, and he was to be beheaded by the church for his crimes. Did you? I need to repeat that. Saint Valentine, a priest, a preacher, a Christian, was going to be beheaded by the church. The church. A church of Christians. Anyway, and while he was awaiting his fate, he fell in love with a servant girl, which a lot of historians have like found and understood that the servant girl was the guard's daughter. Now, the age of that, don't know. The accuracy of that, don't know. But that's what a lot of people said that he wrote the letter to and who he fell in love with. They would pass each other notes secretly. They sign them anonymous. Like that's why like now we say from your Valentine, which is like oh, it's a secret note from somebody. So hence the where you say like people send Valentine's cards secretly and anonymously is because of that. So as history went on, well, as time went on and everything, somebody knew their history and was like, we could probably make a profit off this. We'll start doing cards and putting them out. Okay, what should we call the store that we sell cards from? Hallmark. I'm sorry, just me. This is who I am. But yeah. So yeah, so if you ever get a card from somebody on Valentine's Day, and it's not a Christian thing because it's not recognized by the church. And I've always thought it was kind of funny. Like I never really knew the actual history of Valentine's Day until like a couple like years ago. But to refresh up on it and see what new history came about, checked on it last week and read all this, and I was like, oh, okay. And it's kind of funny how like the Christians aren't, they don't say it's a holiday, but yet you see a lot of Christians and a lot of people partake in this day of Valentine's Day. Is it, you know, it's just, there's a lot of stuff, it makes my brain rattle sometimes, like what the fuck actually happened in real history and shit like that. But, Valentine's Day, oh shit, my bad. But yeah, Valentine's Day, I've always been, as a kid in school, it's like you did the Valentine's thing where you put a card in like people's little bags and stuff like that with candy and little notes and stuff. But yeah, that makes me think about elementary school. But yeah, I figured I'd do a little Wild History Wednesday on Valentine's Day since this is the month of love and Valentine's Day has passed. But yeah, so trying to get back in the groove of things. If any of my listeners / watchers now, since I'm doing videos. So if you want to be featured on my podcast of like something that you're going to school for or some type of trade or something that you're doing, that would be great. Love to have people on here and we can talk and discuss things. Like I enjoy talking sometimes. But what else is there? Can't really think of anything else. But what the fuck? Oh, sorry, Pumpkin was scratching at the door. But tune in. I might do something Thursday. If not, I'll probably do something Friday, or depending on how tired I am when I get off work. But thank you for listening to another OnlyFray podcast. Hope to see and hear y'all's feedback, and to see some more listens on the app, because it really makes me happy knowing people actually listen, even though they may not like what I have to say or might not like me, but I do what I do and I enjoy it. And plus, who knows, I might change somebody's thoughts or things, But with that, y'all have a good rest of the day and have a good night.